We welcome Kansas State quarterback Will Howard to the show. Big game in Austin against Texas. And Will, I remember back at Big 12 Media Days, you were getting tons of questions about play in Texas and what that was going to mean. And it felt like you couldn't say much because that's so far off in the distance. But now that it's looming, how big is this for you guys?
Yeah, it's a huge game, and obviously like you said at the time, you can't just sit there and say that, oh, this is the biggest game of our season and whatnot. But now that it's here, it's like, man, this is a huge point in our season for us, and playing meaningful games in November is where you want to be. And I think this is a really good Texas team, and it's going to be a heck of a challenge playing down there. But I'm looking forward to it.
So getting back to the point where you were playing meaningful games in November, it felt like earlier this season that might not happen. After that Missouri game, after that Oklahoma State game, what has changed within your locker room, within your team that allowed you guys to turn things around?
Yeah, I think we dropped one early to a really good Missouri team. Didn't play up to our standard, and then coming out of that Oklahoma State loss, I feel like we just kind of got away from a lot of the things that make us us, right? And I feel like we got back to doing that and remembered our identity and what makes Kansas State, and that's putting our nose to the grindstone every day, and our preparation has really improved over the last couple of weeks, and I think that's made a heck of a difference. And you've seen it, in the last two games. I mean, very rarely do you see, like, in a conference like this, two drubbings of teams like we've had, and that's rare. So I mean, it shows that we're doing something right. We're hot, and I feel really good about this one.
Your defense has given up one field goal in the past 2 weeks. Like, how, as a quarterback, how comforting is that to know?
It's huge. I mean, all we need to do is score more than the other team, right, to win. But I feel like our offense is doing some really good things. But I mean, when your defense is giving you the ball back, creating turnovers, keeping them out of the red zone. I don't think Houston even got into the red zone. So I mean, it makes my job easy. It takes a lot of pressure off of me, and our defense is playing at a really high level. They know they got a really big challenge in Texas this week. Really explosive offense, can do a lot of things. So, I think they're looking forward to the challenge, though.
I want to tell you about Rhoback. You see this beautiful hoodie I'm wearing now. That is one of the Rhoback performance hoodies. They are the most comfortable pieces of clothing I own. I now have 5 of them in different colors. I rotate them. You see me wearing them on the show all the time. Just glorious. They are perfect for basically any kind of weather, but Rhoback also getting you ready for the cooler weather with the Performance Crew. They've got fleeces now. They've got vests, all kinds of ways to stay warm, along with the polos, the Q-zips, the shorts, and the joggers that I know you already know and love. So go to rhoback.com, RHOBACK.com. Use the code STAPLES for 20% off your first purchase. That's Rhoback, RHOBACK.com. Use that code STAPLES, 20% off your purchase. Be as comfortable as I am. Now, you've got a quarterback arrangement here that you've actually been on both sides of this kind of arrangement in your career. Avery Johnson is coming in sometimes, and then you're coming out. How do you handle that as a leader?
Yeah, I mean, as a leader, you got to stay neutral, and no matter what happens, you can't let anything off the field or personal get in the way of being a leader. And I feel like I've done a pretty good job of that. Obviously, the situation is what it is, and I just, at this point, I just got to control what I can control, and when I'm in there, just do all I can to help our team get the win.
Now, you were very much in control in the Houston game last week, and it seemed like offensively things were opening up for you guys, and you were finding different people. Who's really come on as the season has progressed in terms of a guy you're looking for to target?
I think we've had a lot of guys step up, as the season has gone on. I think our offensive line is playing as well as they've played all season right now. They've just gotten better and better, and we're running the ball really well. And that takes a lot off of me, because I feel like I don't have to, be be a superhero and do anything special. Just got to take what they give me. And then in the passing game, I feel like Jace Brown's really stepped up, and he's a true freshman that is still young and still has a long way to go, but he's made some really good strides and is a really explosive playmaker for us. I think Ben Sinnott's doing some really good things, and all the tight ends that we've had out there. Will Swanson, Garrett Oakley both scored in the last 2 weeks. And then across the board, Jaden Jackson's a great playmaker. Phillip Brooks had a really good game last week. So, we have no shortage of weapons out there, and that makes my job easy.
Yeah, I think I did the count. I think you had 10 touchdown passes going into the last 2 games, and you guys have combined for 7 touchdown passes in the past 2 games. So the passing game has really come on. But you mentioned that offensive line and the way you guys, they protect you, the way they open holes. We had Cooper Beebe on before the season started, and he was telling us about the decision those guys made where, all of them could have been gone and they're all back. What was it for you when you heard that news that the whole core of that line was coming back?
Oh, it was huge. And I obviously did what I could to try and recruit them back, but ultimately at the end of the day, that was their decision, and they got together. They felt like there was unfinished business to take care of, and they wanted to come back and do this again because they weren't ready to leave, and what we have here is special. And I think that speaks volumes about Kansas State as a program and the people that we have here, and it was when I heard that the beef was coming back, man, I was fired up.
When those guys are having a very good day, what's it feel like as a quarterback? What looks different when you look out after the snap?
I mean, it just gives you so much confidence when you know that you're able to sit back there and be comfortable. You don't feel like you're having to move around a whole lot. You can kind of just survey the field, and obviously in the run game too, like just being able to hand the ball off to Trayshawn and DJ and see the holes that those guys are making. Like, it gives you a ton of confidence as a quarterback to just kind of do your thing and not feel like you have to do anything special, because we say all the time, you just got to do your 111, do your job, and not have to do anything special. And it takes a team, and when everybody's rolling at the same time, and when that offensive line is doing what they've been doing, we're hard to stop.
How much does having been through all of this last year, where in November it was basically lose and you're out, and you keep winning and you wind up winning the Big 12 championship, how much does having been through that help you deal with this and help some of the younger and the new guys deal with this too?
Yeah, I think it plays a lot into this season, because I feel like we're in a very similar spot, and last year, we just kept saying we control our own destiny. And I think at the end of the day, last year, we really didn't think a lot about the end result, and we kind of just put our heads down and took it one game at a time. And I think that's what we're trying to do this year, and not really worry about, what happens at the end of the day, because, none of that matters unless we take care of business week after week, day after day. And I think that process-based mindset had a lot to do with our success last year, and that's what we're going to do again this year.
Is that easier and easier to teach to people when you've already seen it work?
Absolutely. I mean, we can look back and say to these young guys that, weren't here last year, is like, man, we've already done this. We've seen it happen. We've seen the success we've had with it. And, there's evidence of this working. So it makes it easy to kind of just say, like, you've seen it work, and, let's just do it again.
So am I correct that Texas is the only Big 12 team you haven't beaten in your career?
That is true. They've gotten us all of my 3 years here now, and I don't think coaches beat them either. So, it's definitely been one we've had circled, but, we know that they're, one of the most talented teams in the country, and all across the board, they've got dudes. I mean, there's no doubt about that. So, we're going to have to play our best game and expect that they're going to come out and give us everything they got. So it's going to be a heavyweight battle, and I'm looking forward to the challenge.
What is that environment like, having seen it once before?
Last time we were there, it wasn't totally packed. I know they kind of had it down.
Wasn't a great year, yeah.
It wasn't their best year, but still, like, the stadium, the town, the environment is like, it's like no other, and it's really cool to go down there and play in that. And it's challenging. It's going to be, we know it's going to be loud. It's going to be rowdy, and we know we know what kind of tests we've got ahead of us, and we're not taking it lightly. And these guys are really, really good. So we know we got to play really well to win this game.
I heard you talking about the Houston game, and you said that Houston did something that you defensively that you weren't really expecting. They changed some stuff up for their Texas game before you guys. You thought maybe they'd go back to what they were doing, but then they brought the stuff from Texas. How do you handle that when you get something thrown at you that maybe you weren't really expecting?
Yeah, that was tough. We prepare all week for one thing, and they come out and do something else. It's different, but I think it worked in our favor a little bit because of the defense that our defense runs, and all the banked reps that we have against that kind of 3-3-5 defense. It helped a lot. Just being able to have a lot of things to fall back on and things that we know work versus that defense.
So, what has been the biggest challenge for you this year? Was it after the Oklahoma State game, finding a way to pull yourself up off the mat? Is it dealing with the quarterback rotation? How have you handled those?
Both of them were, tough things to get through. And, obviously coming out of that Oklahoma State game, just, the thing is you're going to have a bad game, and that's part of life. Even, people tell Tom Brady had bad games, like Mahomes has bad games, and that's a part of football. It's not every week's going to go as planned. And obviously that one was a really bad one, but, I think having to deal with the kind of the quarterback carousel a little bit has been tough, but I think being able to lean on my teammates and know that no matter what, they're going to support me and my family too. Like that's helped a lot.
Well, and how tight is this bond with these guys? Because you mentioned the beef coming back. You've been with these guys since you got here. How tight is this group now?
Super tight. I mean, it's the locker room is easily the closest I've seen it since I've been here. And even last year, I think we had a really, really close family, knit team. And I think this year, maybe even more so. And that speaks a lot to the program that we've built here. And I think, even when things aren't going great for me here, and I feel like I don't have anybody to lean on, I know I have my teammates at the end of the day. It's like, I truly would not still be here if it wasn't for the guys in that locker room.
Well, you guys got a big challenge on Saturday. Will, good luck in Austin.
Thank you, Andy. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for watching. Just a reminder, subscribe to this channel right here so you never miss an episode of Andy Staples on 3. And oh, by the way, watch all the other great videos on the On3 Sports YouTube channel.